Hi, I'm Patrick Mathern, and I'm here today to talk to you about analyzing travel costs. In SpendLogic, if you go to your Line Items tab, you'll find that you now have three buttons: Add Part, Add Service, or Add Travel. Clicking Add Travel will bring up the travel dialog box and result in another line being added to your analysis. Remember, you can always have a mix of parts, services, and travel if you want. In this case, we're just going to be looking at a report with one travel line. Clicking on the Edit pencil will bring up the travel module. On this page, we're going to be talking about G&A and profit. So when you click the G&A drop-down, you'll see that it asks you, do you want to apply an industry average G&A rate, which we've calculated at 13%? Do you want to apply a known rate? So if you know what their G&A rate is, you can apply it here. Or do you want to reimburse based on cost with no added G&A, which would be a 0%? In this case, I'm going to apply the industry average of 13%. Next, input the profit. In this case, I'm going to just use it 10% as an example. If you don't know the profit rate or you need to do a weighted guidelines analysis, remember you can always use our weighted guidelines analysis tool by clicking on this link. Next, scroll down and hit the next button. Here you see our travel analysis matrix, and we're going to be working from left to right. You see that there are 5 rows currently. If you have more than 5 trips to analyze, not a problem. As soon as you enter the 5th row, a 6th one will appear. So let's say that we have a trip scheduled for PDR. I have 2 travelers. I'm just typing directly into the boxes, and my departure date is 6/1/2021. My return is 6/5/2021. And now I'm at the location box. When I start typing into the location, it has me choose an origin and a destination. So first, looking at the origin, let's say that I'm starting in the continental United States, and I'm going to start in Santa Barbara, California, 93105. It automatically chooses my city and state. Next, you need to choose a destination. Let's say that we're going to Italy. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you a list of cities or areas that we have known travel costs for. All of these travel costs are based on the federal travel regulations. So these are being pulled and updated automatically by SpendLogic. Let's go, how about Capri? That sounds nice. Let's say it's now asking me for my proposed total. So let's say that my total proposed was $10,000. When I go to the next box, you see now all of the rest of this is based on the analysis. So everything I'm doing over here is my own analysis. The first thing that I can do is I can disallow the trip. So let's say they proposed $10,000. I see that I included $1,000. Let's try $10,000. There we go. Let's say that I have $10,000 for this trip, but in my analysis, I'm saying that they don't need to be traveling for PDR, so I'm going to go ahead and disallow it. What this does is it brings up a dialog box that allows you to explain why this trip is disallowed. If you have any commentary from your engineers or whatever, you have any documentation, this is a great place to add it. In this case, I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to allow the trip. Next is my airfare. When I start typing in the airfare, you can see that the first thing it asks me is my price of my airfare. So I'm going to say it's $1,000 per person or $2,000 total. And then I would provide it with a source. In this case, I'm just going to write Travelocity. You should, in theory, provide whatever. If you have a URL, that's great, or you can just provide the source like I am as well as here. Next, you want to upload like a screenshot. Most of you are probably going to be doing some sort of online review or online search for travel, even if it's your internal company travel website. You still want to take a screenshot and provide it here. Once you've uploaded your documentation, click Done and move on to your rental car. As I bring this up, you'll see that it looks very similar to what I did for airfare. Let's say that my total amount for a rental car is $500. It asks me for my source, and then it asks me to upload the quote. Once that successfully uploads, go ahead and click Done. Next, we have something called Other. When I bring this up, what this does is it allows you the ability to include other types of travel costs in your analysis. This could be local mileage, it could be some sort of, maybe it's tips or whatever it could be that you want to include that's not already included in airfare, M&IE, and hotel and rental car. Go ahead and fill this out to the best of your ability. If you have any documentation that you can upload, it's always recommended that you do so, although it's not required. Now, as I look to the right, I can see that my hotel, M&IE, and total with markup has been filled out for me. Hotel and M&IE, as noted earlier, are being automatically fed from the federal travel regulations. So all of our analysis conforms to that data source, and it's uploaded continuously by SpendLogic. The total with markup takes all of your inputs plus the hotel and M&IE, hits it with the G&A and the profit factors that were included in the previous screen, and provides you with a total price as shown. When I click next, I get to my risk check screen. In this case, I don't have any risk checks, there's no warnings, and now I'm able to download my report. All right, let's take a quick look at the report that comes out of the system. This looks very much like any other report that you would find in SpendLogic. In this case, we only have one line item. If you had services and or some items, you could also see those in this analysis overview. But here we see our $10,000 and then our analysis of $10,780. And as we scroll down, we see a very high level result of the price analysis. And as usual with all of our reports, the further down you scroll, the more information you get. So now what SpendLogic does is it breaks down each of those cost elements and provides the details of how those were calculated. So for airfare and rental car, it's pretty straightforward. It's what we typed into the system. As we go into hotel and M&IE, you can see that there's additional information. We didn't type any of this in. This is explained by the system, and it talks about where the data came from and how it correlates to the federal travel regulations. And then finally, we get down to the profit and G&A analysis. You can see that the documentation for the industry average of 13% has already been included for us there. Last but not least, we get to our conclusion and a simple signature line. We hope that you find the travel module useful. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at help@spendlogic.com.